Good evening, I'm Tom Osborne. Thank you for showing your support for the American Heart Association by attending tonight's gala. As you will see, heart disease comes in all shapes and sizes. Now I'd like you to meet some friends of mine.
When I was born, my parents took me home and thought everything was wonderful, and they did notice, as the months went on, that I had kind of a blue tinge to my skin and I seemed to cry a little bit more than normal babies. And they took me to the pediatrician and she said it was, just a developmental thing and not to worry. And then one day I was crying and just wouldn't stop. So they took me to the doctor and it was a Saturday. So they didn't see their normal pediatrician because that person wasn't in. The doctor listened to my chest, excused himself for a moment, came back and told my parents that I needed to go to the hospital immediately. And when I got there, it turned out that what he hadn't told my parents was that I was in congestive failure. They discovered through a series of tests that I was born with 7 previously undetected congenital defects, the most important of which is dextrocardia. So my heart is basically upside down and backwards. All the ventricles and aortas are switched around in all the chambers. And then I had some really nice holes in my heart as well. They put a shunt in when I was a baby, and when I was 8, they thought that I was old enough and my body was strong enough to handle open heart surgery. So I had open heart the summer that I was 8, and they went in and replaced part of my valve with a cadaver valve and patched up some of the holes and kind of did some corrective work here and there. It was I think it was something like a 9-hour surgery. It was a pretty long, extensive process, and I came out and I've been pretty good ever since. I've had a couple angioplasties here and there, but
just being busy. I had kids to take care of, house to clean. I didn't have time to worry about the little signs that were pointing at everything. I had other stuff to worry about. Taking care of my kids and my husband. That was more important. So it seemed. I was diagnosed with angiosarcoma. It's a very rare form of cancer, September 11th of all days. Last year, was told that chemo and radiation wouldn't work. Well, didn't listen. They told me I'd be lucky to make it till Christmas. We did chemo. We did a round of radiation, and it did work for a while. The tumor was in my heart. It started getting smaller. It was to the point where surgery was an option. At first, it was not. It wasn't even a possibility. Finally, when we were told that surgery was an option, we met up with the cardiologist and did surgery this year. He removed 99% of my tumor, and there's no signs of it in my heart right now.
Well, it goes way back. My wife had open heart surgery the first time in 1977, and to replace the mitral valve, and has had it done twice since then, so she's had 3 different open heart surgeries. So we had a long history with cardiologists and heart association activities. The changes in the procedures are amazing in that 30-some years. And then, of course, last February the 13th, I was introduced to a cardiologist for the first time when I laid down on the job, so to speak, at the state capitol. Thanks to an AED machine being down the hall, thanks to a young Speaker of the legislature who knew exactly where it was. He'd been there I think it's interesting, he'd been there for 3 years and he knew where it was. I've been around that building 30-some years and I had no idea where it was. But he knew where it was, got it there in time, and here I am. Each day is a blessing. It always has been, but it's even sweeter now. And I would hope that someday that these machines or the advances will be so unbelievable that even if you're out on the ranch, even maybe by yourself, you'd be able to save yourself up. Who knows what's going to happen? Might be as simple as carrying a cell phone along or something. donate money to the American Heart Association. The more advances we can make in this area, the more people that are going to be survivors.
Without heart disease and stroke research, I wouldn't be here. My everyday wouldn't happen. You know, if I had been born a year before I wouldn't be here. You know, the research that had been done in those 12 months allowed me to live. The research that is done every day allows my life to get better. It makes it easier, it makes it normal, and it gives you hope. You know, to know that there are people out there who care and that want you to do everything that you want to do without holding back and without being afraid. You know, research gives you hope.
Because neither one of us would be here if it wasn't for the American Heart Association and the advances in heart health care. It's pretty evident to us.
A lot of people wouldn't be able to live and do what they want to do. My tumor is in a facility now. Learn from it. Help save somebody else also.
You can make a difference.
You can make a difference.
By supporting the American Heart Association, you can make a difference.